So what happened 6 months ago? Why are you taking heat? And what do you want to clarify about the post?
Well, I think unfortunately some people are so eager to take you down. Some people take such issue with a Palestinian from Gaza who has skin in the game, who can hold multiple truths, who can be critical of Hamas, critical of Israeli policies and actions, who wants peace, who wants stability in Gaza to avoid the further bloodshed. And so this tweet from February, from 10 months ago, was me describing how al-Sharif and a few group of activists were involved in a drone flying an incident in which they flew a drone over the Netzarim corridor in Gaza during the short-lived ceasefire, the 51-day-long ceasefire, and I called that out as reckless behavior. And I've never spoken about him since. I've never specifically talked about him or what he is doing in Gaza. And unfortunately, his killing, which I will get to in a second, and what I think about it, has been somehow attributed to me as if the Israeli targeting apparatus is sitting there and looking at my tweets and using that as an excuse to go after journalists. This is complete hogwash. This is fake. This is out of context. And this just shows how difficult it can be for Palestinian moderates and pragmatists and practical voices to push back against the entrenched narratives within the pro-Palestine community.
And to be clear, you have been anti-Hamas. That's been clear. However, let's just talk about al-Sharif for a minute. So the IDF has come forward and called him a terrorist. They said when they looked at documentation, they say it proves that he was a member of Hamas. He was leading up a terrorist cell, that Al-Jazeera knew about this. They tried to distance themselves from him. That he had a roster, that he had terrorist training lists, salary records. They even went on the record and saying a press badge isn't a shield for terrorism. What concerns you most about his death?
Well, I'm very concerned by what appears to be surface level evidence that, like, you can produce all sorts of claims about someone, just like people are claiming that I was responsible for his death and that I am supplying the Israeli military with targeting databases for killing journalists. I am concerned by the timing of his killing. Why is he now, almost 2 years into the war, why is he now being killed right as the Israeli military is ramping up operations and bombardment in Gaza, right after the declaration that the Israeli military is going to occupy fully Gaza and expand the military operation? Why is his killing part of a pattern in which a lot of over 176 journalists, Palestinian journalists, were killed in the Gaza Strip? And yes, I know that some journalists have played maybe nefarious roles in the past, but nevertheless, there is a pattern of denying the entry of foreign journalists and international reporters into Gaza and going after local reporters and local journalists. And that makes it seem as if there's a systematic effort to suppress news coming out of Gaza.
So let me turn it to you, Aaron, right? There is this problem here, and the problem is, optics-wise, it couldn't look worse for Israel. I mean, he's a member of the press. You know, on one hand, the IDF can say he was a terrorist, he was a target, he was a danger, and at the same time, there is this narrative, and you heard it from Ahmed, that of all people to kill, you kill a member of the press, is the idea to shield what might be or may not be going on over there. What is your response to this, Aaron?
So, Jesse, here's where I'm at with all this. This has nothing to do with silencing journalism. This is about Hamas, a Hamas terrorist hiding under a press vest. It's nothing more than that. And by the way, we don't have surfaced evidence. We have some of the finest intelligence in the world. Have a look at the pager operation that we pulled off where we single-handedly dismantled Hezbollah in the press of one button. Hamas has been doing this for years. And no disrespect to your guest, I know he's trying to be on the right side of this, but they've been embedding fighters in press tents, hospitals, ambulances, because they know that Israel follows the laws of armed conflict, and Hamas weaponizes that law, and in the process, they put real journalists in danger. And the IDF, when they say that they've recovered evidence, this is not a crime scene, Jesse, like the show that you host. This is a counterterrorism battlefield, and right now it is kinetic. It has not stopped being kinetic, regardless of whether Israel's pushed into Gaza City.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.